Good, fantastic to be here. Thank you very much, Saj. Thank you very much, everyone. It's wonderful to be back here in JCB, one of the most amazing companies in this country and the world. As we speak around the world, JCB is in every country on earth. And in every country in the world, there are JCB backloaders and diggers that are currently clearing contaminated sites, moving rubble, unblocking roads, moving fallen pylons. And on Thursday, you'll see where this idea is going. On Thursday, I think it is time for the whole country, symbolically, to get in the cab of a JCB, the custard colossus, and remove the current blockage that we have in our parliamentary system. That's what we need to do, because the choice, frankly, as Saj has just said, could not be starker on Thursday. 48 hours from now, our country can choose between going forward, punching through the current deadlock and achieving a brighter future together with a one-nation Conservative government, or we can remain stuck in neutral, paralysed with more deadlock, defeatism, division and drift under a coalition with, as Saj has pointed out, a coalition, because the only mathematical alternative to a working majority Conservative government is a coalition led by Jeremy Corbyn, propped up by Nicola Sturgeon. And frankly, my friends, I think it would be an economic disaster for this country, because they'd whack up taxes. In the end, it's always everybody who pays more taxes under a Labour government. They'd whack up taxes for ordinary taxpayers, £2,400 a head, £1,000 more for people earning as little as £20,000 a year. It would be an economic disaster in the sense that the cost of borrowing for the whole country would go up, pushing up people's mortgages. It would also be a political disaster, because it would mean this country would be led by a Hamas-backing, IRA-supporting, anti-Semitism condoning appeaser of the Kremlin. And today, which is what he is, look at the record. I mean, just go look at the record. But if you doubt me, you doubt me. Listen to what his health spokesman said today, John Ashworth. He revealed that he thinks his own leader is a security risk, and I think it couldn't be clearer than that. But there's another factor that Mr. Ashworth mentioned that I think is even more terrifying when you look at the year ahead, our prospects for our country. And John Ashworth made it absolutely clear that he thinks the reason Mr. Corbyn is failing to persuade some people to vote for him, failing to persuade large numbers of people to vote for him, is he is blocking Brexit. He won't get Brexit done. And don't listen to me. Look at what John Ashworth, his health spokesman, said. And he's absolutely right. And Jeremy Corbyn, the SNP, who are the other ones, the Liberal Democrats, they're blocking Brexit. They don't want to get it done. And we do. We want to respect the will of the people. We're Democrats. I mean, whether we're Leavers or Remainers, whichever way we voted, we've come together and we want to get it done. And we can. We've got a deal. We in the Conservatives. I've been ready. Every single one of the Conservative candidates standing in this election, more than 630 of them, including Kate and Saj, are backing this deal. For every point of view on the spectrum, we're all backing it. How many members of Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet are actually backing the deal that he wants to do? Can you name anybody? Not John McDonnell, not Keir Starmer, not Diane Abbott. Who? Not even Jeremy Corbyn himself. He's not even backing his own deal. How's he supposed to do a deal in Brussels when he doesn't support it himself? It's ludicrous. It's worse than ludicrous. It'd be disastrous for our country. We'd spend a whole year in dither, drift, confusion, not just with a referendum on Scotland, which we don't need. We had one in 2014. The people of this country were told it was once in a generation event. We'd have another referendum on the EU. Toxic, divisive, pointless, holding the country back. And we want to get on. We in our One Nation Conservative Party, we want to get on. Our deal allows us to get out of the EU on January the 31st. It gets Brexit done and get all the benefits of Brexit. We take back control of our money, our borders, our laws. We can do all sorts of things differently, whether it's regulating differently on animal welfare or cutting VAT on sanitary products or having free ports around the country, doing free trade deals, having our own democratically accountable immigration system. All those things we can start doing from January the 31st. And we'll see economic benefits as well, immediately. Because the confidence will return to this country. And we'll start to get our mojo back, to be perfectly frank. And you look at the studies, they say there's about $150 billion worth of inward investment just waiting to come to this country as soon as we can get our Brexit deal over the line. And then we in Parliament, we in government, once we get Brexit done in January, we can get on with our work of serving you, the British people, and putting your priorities first, putting people's priorities first. That means getting on with our massive investments in the NHS, the biggest in history, £34 billion, 40 new hospitals, 50,000 more nurses, investing in 20,000 more police officers across the country to bring crime down, lifting up funding for every school, primary and secondary, in the country. £4,000 minimum per pupil in primary schools, £5,000 minimum in secondary schools. We have a vision for this country. We One Nation Conservatives. This is an amazing country. We want to unite it and take it forward. We want to unite and level up. We think, that talent and genius is evenly distributed around the whole country, but we think that opportunity is not fairly distributed. And the way to solve that is to invest in infrastructure, in better education, and in technology. So we're putting in gigabit broadband across the country, 5G telephony, using infrastructure, education, and technology to bring the country together. We have a vision of a united kingdom. Jeremy Corbyn would divide our kingdom. And I can tell you this, we can do all of this as One Nation Conservatives whilst not putting up your taxes. And that's why in our manifesto, it's very clear. Saj, I'm glad to say, is nodding beside me. He knows how to do it. We will not put up income tax, VAT, or national insurance contributions. So those are just some of the things that we want to do. I could tell you much more about our plans for childcare. I could tell you much more about what we want to do to make this country an environmental leader, cutting CO2, and we can and we will. We're going to be the cleanest, greenest government in history in this country. But we have very little time left, my friends. We've only got 48 hours to get this thing done. I want you now to reflect on the gravity of the choice we have before us. This is a momentous occasion for our country. We have, and I've never known an election like it. I've never known a moment when the choice before us was so clear and so stark. And I urge you all to think about it very, very hard. We have 48 hours to end the deadlock, 48 hours to end the gridlock, think of another word, deadlock, gridlock, roadblock. 48 hours to get rid of the roadblock that's in the path of this country. And you've seen how we can do it, literally and figuratively. We can do it. You can do it. You can do it with your votes, with your support. We can end the gridlock that is holding our country back. We can move forward together. And I hope very much that we will collectively be able to remove the wall. The wall, you saw the styrofoam wall that we tore down earlier on. Well, as one conservative said to another communist, Mr. Corbyn, it's time to tear down that wall and remove your opposition to getting Brexit done. We can get Brexit done. We can move this country forward. I hope very much that you'll support us as a party of progress that will take this amazing country forward, unite it, and vote for a One Nation Conservative government on Thursday. Thank you all very much for your attention. Thank you.